Early, thank you. The man accused in a deadly shooting in Columbus was in court today, where he pleaded no contest to a homicide charge and was found guilty. Jonathan Luna made his plea just 2 hours ago in Columbia County Court. So a no contest plea means the defendant is not formally admitting guilt, but allows the person to accept conviction. As part of the plea, charges of attempted first-degree intentional homicide and misdemeanor bail jumping were dismissed. Luna is accused of killing Jesus Fuentes after a bar fight on the 4th of July last year. According to the criminal complaint, the two men did not know one another before getting into a fight outside this bar. 23-year-old Luna faces a mandatory life in prison sentence for that homicide charge. A judge will decide if he is eligible for extended supervision. A sentencing date was not yet set.